About what are you talking about? Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. Get off me. Let go of me. Let go of me.
Wait, what? Kirk really tried to take Mendeecees out on the road? Oh, this ain't just another messy reality TV feud. Nah, this is straight up attempted murder-level drama, y'all. The streets are buzzing right now because sources are spilling some serious tea. Kirk Frost allegedly plotted to have Mendeecees handled during what was supposed to be a routine drive. But guess what? Mendeecees survived, and now the truth is creeping out piece by piece. So now the real question is, why would Kirk even go that far? What did Mendeecees do that made Kirk snap like this? And most importantly, who leaked this chilling info? Was it someone from inside their circle, a friend turned enemy, or maybe, just maybe, Mendeecees himself trying to get ahead of the scandal before it blows up even bigger? One thing's for sure, this ain't just gossip. It's a full-on conspiracy, and we got all the juicy details. From backstabbing betrayals to life-threatening setups, this scandal is messy, and we're breaking it all down. Grab your popcorn because this is about to get wild. Mendeecees was driving down that empty road, completely unaware that danger was lurking just around the corner. He thought it was just another routine drive, another moment to clear his head from all the chaos surrounding him. But little did he know, someone else had a completely different plan for how that drive was supposed to end. And that someone was none other than Kirk. Yeah, you heard that right. The same Kirk who's been throwing shade at Mendeecees left and right. The same Kirk who's been plotting behind the scenes might have just taken things to a whole other level. And now, the streets are buzzing with one question. Was this a setup? Sources close to the situation are spilling all kinds of tea, and let's just say it's getting messier by the second. People are whispering that Kirk had been plotting something shady for weeks. Allegedly, there were some heated conversations, some threats exchanged, and maybe even a little bit of "I'ma handle this my way" type energy from Kirk. And then boom. This mysterious road incident happens, leaving Mendeecees shaken but alive. Coincidence? Or was this a well-thought-out plan that just didn't go as expected? Now let's talk about the timing because, baby, it's looking real suspicious. Just days before this so-called accident, Kirk and Mendeecees were caught up in yet another argument. And this wasn't just some minor disagreement. Nah, this was one of those if I see you in the streets, it's up type of beefs. They had already been at each other's throats over some past drama involving Yandy, but things took a turn when Kirk allegedly started making some serious threats. Insiders claim that Kirk had been saying things like, Mendeecees gotta be dealt with, and that he wasn't going to let this slide. Now, normally folks talk big when they're mad, but given what just happened, people are starting to wonder if Kirk really meant every word he said. And let's not forget, Kirk's been known to hold grudges. This ain't the first time he's had issues with Mendeecees, and it definitely ain't the first time he's been caught moving shady. Just last year, there were rumors floating around that Kirk was involved in some behind-the-scenes plotting to take Mendeecees down, whether that meant damaging his reputation or messing with his business moves.
But now?
Now it's looking like things have escalated way beyond just words. Multiple sources are saying that Kirk had some associates in place, watching Mendeecees' every move. The streets are talking, and if the whispers are true, this whole thing was orchestrated down to the very last detail. Some are even speculating that Kirk knew exactly where Mendeecees would be driving that night, and that this whole accident was actually a failed attempt at something much darker. The details are wild, and honestly, it's hard to ignore just how calculated this whole situation seems. I mean, think about it. Mendeecees is minding his own business, driving down a quiet road, and out of nowhere, there's an unexpected obstacle? Nah, something ain't adding up. The timing, the threats, the history between these two. It's just too much to ignore. And let's talk about what happened after the incident, because baby, that's where things get even sketchier. Kirk has been acting real quiet about the whole thing. No statements, no public appearances, just complete radio silence. Now, y'all know Kirk ain't the type to stay quiet when drama pops off. So why is he suddenly laying low? Is he trying to avoid questions? Is he hoping this all blows over before people start connecting the dots? Because, let's be real, if someone accused you of something like this, wouldn't you be shouting from the rooftops about how innocent you are? Meanwhile, Mendeecees hasn't been saying much either, but sources close to him are claiming that he's absolutely convinced this wasn't just some random accident. He allegedly told his people, "I know what's going on, this was a setup." And if that's what he believes, then best believe he's going to start looking for answers. Because let's face it, if someone really tried to take him out, he's not about to just let that slide. And let's not forget the witnesses. Oh yeah, there were people who saw what went down that night. And from what they're saying, it wasn't just a simple case of bad luck. Allegedly, there was another car involved, one that was tailing Mendeecees for quite some time before things went left. And get this, the driver of that car? Yeah, they vanished from the scene before authorities even showed up. Now, why would someone just dip like that? Unless they had something to hide. Now here's where things take an even crazier turn. Some folks are saying that Kirk wasn't just behind the setup, he might have actually been on that road himself, making sure everything went according to plan. A source who claims to have been near the scene says they saw a familiar-looking car parked on the side of the road right before things went left. And guess what? That car looked a whole lot like Kirk's. Now, let's break this down. If Kirk really was there that night, watching this whole thing unfold, then that means this wasn't just some talk tough and hope for the best situation. This was premeditated. Someone wanted Mendeecees off that road, and they wanted it to look like an accident. And let's not act like Kirk hasn't been moving funny for a while now. This is the same man who's been called out for shady business dealings. The same man who's had drama follow him for years. The same man who always seems to have an explanation for why things go left when he's around. But this is on a whole new level. Now, while Kirk is out here dodging questions, Mendeecees is gearing up for whatever comes next. He's allegedly been talking to some big names in the industry, trying to piece together what really happened that night. And trust me, if he finds out Kirk really had something to do with it, oh, it's going to be a war. But here's the real kicker. There are already rumors that Mendeecees is plotting his own revenge. Yeah, that's right. If Kirk really thought he was going to pull a fast one and walk away like nothing happened, he might want to think again. Because if Mendeecees gets proof, oh baby, it's about to get ugly. So now the streets are on edge, waiting for the next move. Will Mendeecees come out swinging? Will Kirk finally break his silence? Or is this just the beginning of an even bigger plot that none of us saw coming? One thing's for sure, this ain't over. Not by a long shot. And just like that, the tension is thick, the stakes are high, and everybody's watching to see what happens next. But if you think this was messy, oh, just wait till you hear what's coming next. Now, let's get one thing straight. Mendeecees isn't the type to take an attack like this lightly. If Kirk really thought he was going to pull a fast one, leave Mendeecees shook, and just walk away like nothing happened, then he clearly forgot who he was dealing with. Because, baby, let me tell you, Mendeecees is already moving behind the scenes. And if the rumors are true, Kirk might have just made the biggest mistake of his life. Word on the street is that Mendeecees has been making some serious calls. And not just to his usual crew. Nah, we're talking big names. People with real influence. Allegedly, he's been reaching out to industry insiders, legal experts, and even a couple of folks with, let's just say, connections that ain't exactly legal. And let's be real, if Mendeecees truly believes that Kirk tried to take him out, then best believe he's not about to let this slide. And here's where things get even messier. While Mendeecees is busy plotting his next move, Kirk is out here trying to do damage control. Yep, now that people are putting two and two together, Kirk is suddenly popping up, trying to act like he ain't got nothing to do with this. First, it was the silence. Now, he's out here throwing out the y'all reaching card, acting like the whole situation is just a crazy coincidence. But, baby, the receipts are not in his favor. Because just as folks started questioning him, some leaked messages hit the internet. Messages that, if true, paint a very different story. Screenshots allegedly show Kirk talking to someone just days before the accident, saying things like, "That dude thinks he's untouchable. He got too comfortable." And another one, "Bet money he won't see this coming." Now, I don't know about y'all, but that sounds a whole lot like someone planning something. And let's not forget, this ain't the first time Kirk has been caught saying shady stuff. This man has a history of throwing rocks and hiding his hands. But this is looking a little too specific to be just random chat. And guess what else? Messie's team ain't playing. Sources close to him are saying that he's about to launch his own investigation. Yep, you heard that right. Mendeecees is putting his people to work, looking at phone records, surveillance footage, everything. Because he wants to know exactly who was involved and how deep this goes. And let's talk about who else might be involved. Because, trust me, this whole thing might not just be a one-man operation. There's been talk that Kirk wasn't working alone, that there were other people helping him out. And, baby, when I tell you the names being whispered are shocking, I mean shocking. Some sources are saying that Kirk might have gotten some outside help, possibly even from within Mendeecees' own circle. Now imagine that. Imagine thinking you're safe, thinking you know who's got your back, only to find out that someone close to you might have played a role in trying to set you up. That's betrayal on a whole different level. And let's not forget, money talks. If Kirk really wanted this to happen, you best believe he had to pay off some people to make sure it all went smoothly. But, baby, something went wrong. Because instead of Mendeecees being taken out, he survived. And now Kirk's got a big problem on his hands. Because let me tell you, when a plan fails, loose ends start to unravel. And right now, folks are saying that someone who was involved in this plot might be about to flip. Yep. Word is there's already somebody who's feeling the heat and might just start talking to save themselves. And if that happens, oh, it's over for Kirk. Because the second one person starts spilling, the whole house of cards comes crashing down. And trust me, Kirk knows it. That's why he's been moving differently. Low-key nervous, watching his back. Because deep down, he knows the truth is coming. And speaking of the truth, let's talk about what Mendeecees plans to do next. Because best believe he's not just going to sit around and wait for answers to come to him. Nah, he's on the offense now. Some people are saying he's already been in contact with some officials to start looking into this whole situation legally. That means police reports, phone taps, and possibly even some secret investigations happening as we speak. And let's be real, if any hard evidence comes out, connecting Kirk to this? Oh, he's done. But then there's the other rumor going around, one that suggests Mendeecees might not even be thinking about the legal route at all. Some folks are saying that he's looking to handle this in the streets instead. Now, I'm not saying anything for sure, but let's just say, if Mendeecees believes Kirk really tried to take him out, he's not the type to let that go unanswered. And that is why Kirk is probably sweating bullets right now. Because whether it's through the law or the streets, the reality is, Mendeecees is coming for him. And let's not act like Kirk doesn't know he messed up. His whole energy has changed. Just a few weeks ago, this man was out here flexing, talking tough, and moving reckless. Now he's moving silent. Now he's watching his every step. Now he's avoiding certain places, avoiding certain people. And, let's be real, probably sleeping with one eye open. Because deep down, he knows this ain't over. He knows that Mendeecees is on his neck. And when a man like Mendeecees starts coming for answers, it doesn't end well for the guilty. So now we're at a crossroads. On one side, we got Kirk scrambling to cover his tracks, trying to keep his name out of this. On the other, we got Mendeecees gearing up for whatever comes next, making moves behind the scenes and getting ready to set the record straight. But the real question is, what's going to happen when these two finally come face to face? Because, baby, when I tell you that moment is coming, I mean it's coming soon. And when it does, oh, you already know, it's about to be explosive. But if you thought things were messy now, baby, you have no idea what's coming next. Because trust me, this story is far from over. Now, let me tell you something. When Mendeecees sets his mind on something, he does not stop until he gets what he wants. And right now, what he wants is the truth. The streets are already buzzing, and everybody knows this ain't over. Kirk might be laying low, trying to dodge the heat, but baby, he can run all he wants. Because sooner or later, the truth always comes out. And let's be real, Kirk ain't built for this type of pressure. He thought he could play dirty and walk away untouched, but he underestimated just who he was messing with. And now he's realizing that Mendeecees ain't just sitting back. He's out for blood. And let's talk about the new developments that have everybody shook. Because if you thought the leaked messages were bad, just wait until you hear about the latest receipts that just surfaced. According to an anonymous source, the kind that always pops up when things start getting real, there's actual footage that might expose everything. Yep, you heard that right. Allegedly, there is camera footage from a gas station that shows a black SUV following Mendeecees just minutes before the accident. And guess what? People are saying that SUV matches the description of a car that Kirk has been seen driving before. Baby, if this footage is legit, it's over. Because think about it. What are the odds that Kirk's car just happened to be creeping behind Mendeecees right before he got run off the road? That's not a coincidence. That's a setup. And this is where things get even crazier. Sources close to Mendeecees are saying that he's already gotten his hands on the footage, and he's planning to use it to expose Kirk once and for all. But here's the thing, Mendeecees ain't just thinking about going public with this. No, baby. He's playing chess. Because, let's not forget, Kirk still has connections. He's got people in his pocket. People who could try to sweep this under the rug if it gets too messy. So what does Mendeecees do? He moves smart. Word is, he's planning to leak the footage in a way that guarantees it can't be erased. Some folks are saying he's sending copies to key people in the industry, even possibly some media outlets, just to make sure that once this footage drops, there's no coming back from it. And if that wasn't bad enough for Kirk, people are also whispering about something else, something that could completely flip this situation upside down. Because, baby, if these sources are right, Kirk might not just be facing street retaliation. He might actually be looking at real legal trouble, too. That's right. Some folks are saying that Mendeecees' legal team is already preparing to take action. And if Kirk gets officially connected to this attempt on his life, we could be talking about serious charges. And let me tell you, if Kirk gets caught up in this legally, he's done. Because let's be honest, Kirk ain't exactly a saint. His name is already tied to some messy business, and if the authorities get even a whiff of evidence that links him to this incident, they will dig deeper. And you know what happens when they start digging? Old skeletons start falling out of the closet. And, baby, Kirk's got a lot of skeletons. But let's step back for a second. Because while Kirk is out here scrambling to protect himself, there's something else happening behind the scenes. See, Mendeecees ain't just focused on getting justice for himself. He's also trying to figure out who else was involved. Because, let's not forget, there's been talk that Kirk didn't act alone. And Mendeecees knows this. He knows that someone somewhere helped make this happen. And that is why folks are saying he's been having some very interesting meetings lately. Word is, Mendeecees has been sitting down with some unexpected people. People who might have information about what really went down that night. And baby,